Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from the beautiful hills of, Arizona again. Back in Arizona, and the home of lots of people I don't know. Actually, I heard that Gun Jesus, Ian, Forgotten Weapons, lives in Tucson or in this area somewhere. So I'm not sure about that. But yeah, here we are. Sunday shoot-around, number 4. I told you I was going to be committed to this, whether we're on the road or whatever the weather is. So here I am. I had to live it, right? You're starting this new series in the wintertime. Not only that, but also with travel coming up. So anyway, not a lot of shooting, maybe. I did bring a firearm, appropriate for the West, huh? Yes, so we might shoot that. Okay? Let me get that out there where you can see it again. See if you can tell what brand it is. Okay, can you? Yeah, who knows? Anyway, we're in Arizona again. You know where we've been all around the SHOT Show and in other places. John's been doing a lot of comedy, and I'll update you on that schedule. And having an interesting trip out west, as we typically do in January. Like I said before, we have to plan it a year in advance, and that's why we be here. We are here. Hated to miss Virginia, as I've said several times. Apparently a lot of people don't watch all of our videos. Imagine that. People have lives to lead. But anyway, as you know, we talk about it in pretty often. The thing apparently in Virginia, seemed to go off pretty well. It seemed to go off really well. You may have a different opinion, or if you were there, share. But looked like a good crowd, and it was a great visual. It really was. I hope that the folks who actually went into the building and did some lobbying, maybe made a dent in things. I don't know. Really up against a brick wall there, it looks like, in a lot of ways. But at least the Second Amendment advocate voice was heard, and people from all around showed up and filled up the grounds, and that was the main thing. Hopefully it'll do some good. So we'll keep it up. We've got a rally when it makes sense, and again, the biggest rally is you on the phone, on the email, writing letters, whatever, going to commission meetings, going to any event that might help, and staying in touch with the people that make those laws, that propose these crazy bills, or don't propose these crazy bills. You never know. You may have a representative that is anti-gun, and they're contemplating authoring some crazy bill. You don't know what tips them one way or the other necessarily. Maybe just seeing the grounds there in Richmond, you can make them rethink something. I was going to propose this, but maybe we'll wait till next session, next year. Or maybe it's not the best time to do it. You don't know always what makes the difference, just like going into the voting booth and voting. And I'm not casting aspersions on anybody, but I do know a lot of gun owners don't vote. And I have a lot of faults. But one thing I have done, my gosh, religiously for, I don't know, at least 40 years. I think in my early 20s I was not as good about it. But since I got to be around 30, I don't think I've missed voting. You just have to do it. And again, as I was going to say, it seems like it's to no avail quite often. But you just got to go do it, because maybe it does take 1,000 people who don't normally vote to go vote to do it. If you stay home and say, well, I'm not going to vote, it's not going to make any difference, it doesn't make any difference unless everybody gets out and does it, and so anyway, and then it may not always make a difference, but politicians look at the results. That's one of the arguments for the Libertarian Party. I've always been, or I have been, kind of in a dilemma sometimes about how to vote. vote your conscience, let your voice be heard, rather than the horse race, the Democrat, the Republican, voting Libertarian, for example. You're actually voting for something you can believe in, all that. But still, when it comes to time to vote, like a lot of people who think kind of the way I do, which is probably many of you, you have to make that decision. My gosh, I want to vote my conscience, but I know that if I don't vote for X candidate, this other candidate who wants to take all my guns has a better chance of getting in. So we all have all those issues we have to work out and go vote, according to our own conscience, and just do the best we can. But we got to vote. We got to vote. Okay. So anyway, congratulations on you folks in Virginia. You turned out very, very well, and hopefully it'll make some difference. That's all we can hope. All right. Got a message or two. Okay, let me, before I forget, give you John's schedule, his comedy. We've run into several of you at some of the comedy events John has been doing, so it's been great. By the way, he will be in Memphis on the 21st of February, Oklahoma City on the 22nd, Albuquerque on the 23rd, again, February, and Phoenix on the 24th, and Las Vegas on the 25th. Okay, just to give you a quick update on that. So yeah, here we are in the Sonoran Desert. This is really where we are, the Sonoran Desert. Okay. Speaking of talk to the folks at Ballastall at their booth. I'm trying to think of all the people that help us, and also Talon Grips were set up there. You look at their new grips, their new Pro Series. They're a little bit. I think I showed you in a Sunday shoot around, maybe a little more friction on that. So did not see the only other sponsor. We did not see, of course, the APMEX folks. They don't set up at the SHOT Show, precious metals dealer, but we appreciate their help. So I want to thank all of our sponsors, because we couldn't do this if it weren't for them. So appreciate that. What else? Well, SHOT Show. Okay, and before I go any further, too, let me tell you where I am. I'm in Tennessee, believe that? Yeah. We're out in Tucson, and what's behind me is Old Tucson. It's called. It's a movie studio set up, and a lot of my friends have been over there, like John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, Lee Marvin, Richard Boone. You can name them all day long. If you're not familiar, that's Old Tucson, where it was built. When was it? John and I did a tour of it. Years back. It was built, I think, in the 30s. I don't know, but they built it just like Tucson would have been in the old days, 1800s, to make movies in. Yeah. And I'm looking at a mountain you can't see, but it's the one I always key on if I'm watching a Western, especially a John Wayne, or just any number of them. I think part of Eastwood's Joe Kidd was filmed here, just a bunch of them. The Eldorados, a lot of those John Wayne movies, and about half the time I'm watching a Western. The ones made in like the 40s, 50s, 60s especially. I'll look for that background in that specific mountain peak, and that tells me, yep, that's Old Tucson, been there. And then some of the buildings too I even recognize. And the High Chaparral TV series was filmed right there. The house they filmed it in was like, I think that looks like that barn now. They've changed it a little bit or something, but it's right. It's not within 100 yards of me, because I've done the tour. The one with the big saguaro cactus right at the front porch, and it's still there. That cactus is still there. So that's where we are at Old Tucson. It's a really cool place if you've never toured it. What about SHOT Show? I'm going to try to keep this under an hour, right? Take my time. I don't want to yak all day. SHOT Show, man, I'm a bad rep for, a radio show in Columbus, Ohio. When I called in today to kind of update on the SHOT Show. And I am the world's worst, as I told them, to give an update on the SHOT Show. Because as you know, I don't live and breathe and sit on the edge of my seat waiting for the newest firearm. I don't. Now, sometimes there's something new that is interesting to me. And then again, even if it's not all that interesting to me, but it's interesting to a lot of you all, we'll get one and do a video and give you our opinions on it, shoot it, show you how it works. So But I'm not crazy about all the newest stuff as much as a lot of people are. So I'm not the best to do a SHOT Show update. You know, I mean, I'll be honest. One of the most interesting firearms to me to come about in the last few weeks was the Python, the Colt Python. I was very interested in seeing that. If they had waited until the SHOT Show to bring it out, then I would have been making a beeline for that booth right away. That would have been the most interesting thing to me, you know, to see. And of course, we got one a couple of weeks ago or 3, and you know the issues we had with it, and no real update on that. While I'm on that topic, I talked to Colt twice while we were here, a range day and in the exhibit hall, and yeah, as you know, more and more people have had the issue. There are not that many of them out there. And I don't want to talk out of school. I don't know all the specifics. I don't even care. You know, I don't run down drama on the internet. I mean, some people live for the drama. That's the only way they get attention. You know, they use us, you know, for their drama to get attention, get clicks and everything. You know, we don't do that. Never have, never will. So I don't want to just say things for you know, dramatic sake or that sort of thing. So I'm gonna be cautious as usual. We'll find out. I'm looking forward to Colt taking care of that, and just like with the SIG P365, had early problems, fixed it. I think. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's still having problems, but you know, they seem to be fixed. I have 2 of them. John has one. They work fine. Everybody I talk to, they work fine. I'm sure there's somebody who doesn't, but you know, they got over that, and now they're selling by the truckload. I'm sure every day. Very popular. And the Python, they'll work that out and they'll be selling. It'll all go very well. Right now, as of today, as I speak, I'm not confident that they're going to own it. You know, there still seems to be a lot of blame on user error and that kind of thing. You know, so I don't know. So I'm not going to judge them yet. We'll see how it goes. But I know the Firearms blog, you know, on range day had issues with one. I've seen their write-up, and other people around the web. It's not like hundreds of people, but it's enough, considering not many of them are even out there, that you know, that issue of the well, whether it's a light primer strike or whatever, with ours, the cylinder wasn't turning right. So you know, anybody knows anything about revolvers or firearms knows that, you know, it was not, you know, user induced, of course. Duh. But anyway, so we'll see how that goes. We'll keep you updated. I gave them my email at the booth during SHOT Show after range day, and asked them, say, look, just let me know what you find out, and I'll be happy to pass it along. You know, so you get it right from the horse's mouth. Pun intended, right? The horse's mouth, and I'll pass along to users. Yeah. So I don't know what'll become of that, but anyway, we'll let you know as we know anything. We may not. You know, I mean, apparently there's an issue with the hand. Maybe only after it's fired a certain number of times, or whatever it might be. So anyway, that was the thing I was kind of excited about. Other firearms, you know, I was trying to make a list of things, and it's hard to. Some things I saw some trends. I saw a lot of pistols with RMRs on them. Yeah, as you know, that's really becoming popular. And just every booth that you saw that, you know, people are making pistols, there were a bunch of models, you know, with the RMR. So those are becoming more and more popular, it seems. A lot of variations of the Ruger Precision rifle. Yeah, if you know what I'm talking about. Some nice rifles, kind of high-tech, modern, innovative rifles, adjustable stocks and combs, length, and all that. You know, with a bolt action, maybe taking an AR-15 magazine or not, but, you know, firing maybe NATO rounds or whatever, the Creedmoors, and just different, a lot of really nice rifles like that from several makers I noticed. Of course, I'm always drawn to, I know I spent some time at several booths, well, the Winchester booth, the Winchester lever guns, and Seiko makes a gun that I don't know why I don't just get one, but I keep salivating over it every time I pick it up. I think I've mentioned before, I think it's the Bavarian model 85, I believe is the number. And every time I pick that up, and plus they chambered in 6.5 by 55, sweet, one of my favorite rounds. So I picked that thing up and oh man, it's like a glove, just like a glove. I wouldn't even want to put a scope on it. Like the sights is just right there, and all that. But they're expensive. But anyway, things like that always attract me. Who else? 2 or 3 booths where they were making, like 375 H&H, big African game rifles. Those still appeal to me, and so I always get lured into those things. Some of Ruger's big, guide guns and things like that. They're quite honestly more interesting to me than some of the new stuff that comes out. Anything else I'm forgetting about? The I don't know. Gosh, I don't know. Just I really should take more pictures, I guess, but I did take a lot, but I didn't take a lot of specific firearms. Went by the car booth. I know they're making their big revolvers and they're going to make that in 350 Legend. In fact, they had one there, 350 Legend. I want to do another one of those in either maybe 3030 or 350 Legend or, something like that. I don't know. Along those lines, though, really, we all get caught up in these new firearms. And of course, I just admitted to you how I'm not as crazy about the latest guns necessarily, depending on what it is. I think sometimes new shooters can, maybe get a little caught up in some of that too. The equipment, the accessories, and what's going to make them a better shooter. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, becoming a better shooter, right? But you tell me, what is it? What's the probably number one factor that's going to make somebody a better shooter? All right, time's running now. What do you think? Well, of course, training, is important, but just shoot. It's spend time behind that trigger and working on it. Maybe getting some training, but practice. Okay, just familiarity with the firearm. Dry firing, and just shooting. Okay, just enjoy that firearm. I saw that when I was in competition. There were a lot of people just getting into it. Oh man, they were hanging all sorts of stuff on their firearms, and of course competitors are the worst best about willingness to spend whatever it takes, to compete, to give them an edge or to get them up that next class, or take a second off of their time or whatever it might be. But most of the time, all else being equal, you just need to practice. You need to know how to shoot. Make sure your grip is right. Your sights, just everything. That's what most of it is. Okay. So we can all get caught up in this equipment race and get caught up in all the newest firearms. And that's part of our John and my responsibility is to kind of make you aware of what's going on and showing you the new stuff and everything, and some of it's really cool. But by and large, I guess one message I would have for you folks out there in viewership land, if you just got you a couple of firearms, maybe all you own is a Mossberg 500. You can't afford anything else right now. Okay? Hey, don't feel like you're unarmed. Don't feel like you're living the pathetic shooter's life. Really. A firearm is a firearm, and they're all fun. They're all fun. And a shotgun, for example, you've got a howitzer. You can shoot slugs through that thing, a variety of slugs, incredibly accurate slugs, even have a smoothbore. And of course, all the buckshot that's available, birdshot. So much fun you can have with just a simple firearm like that. You don't even need any extra sights on it at all. As you know, my Mossberg with the bead front sight, I think I can shoot it. I can shoot slugs better with that, I think, than almost any shotgun I have. Even better than my Benelli, I think. So, you don't have to have all this stuff. We bring it to you, and I know a lot of your favorite YouTubers, video makers, you watch and you are interested in what's going on, what's available, and maybe what was seen at SHOT Show and all that. There's nothing wrong with that, but just also be aware what that most of that is. A lot of it's marketing, It's bringing out new products to sell, to make money. You know, it doesn't mean it's a dramatic improvement. Doesn't mean it's anything that's even necessary. And of course, you know, firearms are, I think, necessary, but also a gigantic proportion of it is luxury, right? I mean, I have to admit, you know, once you get past 2 or 3 or 4 firearms, all the rest of mine are luxuries, you know, because I love the history of them or the way they operate and that sort of thing. But I'm well protected with just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, even this one. Now this one cost $29. I just wanted to buy a gun in Tucson, Arizona. So I bought a gun in Tucson. All right, happens to be a toy gun. Pretty cool, huh? It's not a Colt, but you do notice the cylinder turns. Sorry, that was a cheap shot. Yeah, I have some caps I was going to fire in it maybe before it make you think it was real, but I didn't want to disturb or make the folks nervous back here running old Tucson. We're not even sure we're supposed to be here. We're encroachers. We're intruders. So anyway, keep that in mind about all the new guns, all the cool stuff that is oh so cool. You don't necessarily need that. I don't think I had anything else important on my notes. I think I had nothing important on my notes, really. I did want to mention, a lot of people have mentioned about this rattlesnake movie that somebody have seen. I have not watched it, you know, but they wrote us and they wanted permission to use a piece of one of our videos in that about 2 years ago at least. So they did get permission. I answer people that all the time. They did get permission, even paid us a little bit. We didn't know what it was. They never make this movie. And my main question was, well, you're not doing an anti-gun piece, are you? No, it's not about that. It's going to be a real story on it. I said, well, okay, maybe so. Yeah. So anyway, we let them use that. So we do know about that. Okay. The movie is called Rattlesnake. I am not recommending it. I don't know. I forget where it is, John. I think it's like at 49 minutes or something. I see a lot of people, you know, telling me that, but at some point in there, they access one of our videos to learn how to shoot a Glock 19, and they wanted to. I think it's the first Glock 19 movie we made or video. Well, it was funny because I remember talking with them and saying, "Well, you sure you don't want a later one, a better video? You want that thing?" You know. So for some reason they wanted a piece of that one. So anyway, we know about it in that case to answer that question. So anyway, we're having a good time out west and traveling, and we'll be back in Tennessee soon. So just wanted to check in with you on the 4th Sunday shoot around. And remember, I did shoot. All right. Hopefully next week I'll be able to shoot a little bit more. So keep in mind where John's going to be and what's going on. And we've got the Ruger 57. We'll do some videos with when we get back. Work on that some. I think we have the Tavor shotgun. I think we'll be there when we get back. So be shooting those a bit and having some fun with those. And I don't know what else I could bore you with right now. We just have to weave our way through here, the desert, and try to avoid the cacti, because everything out here is prickly. It will stick you. In fact, it might bite you. Speaking of rattlesnakes, you know, there are rattlesnakes out here. I think and hope they know better than to bite me or bite John. So as always, we appreciate your viewership. We appreciate your support. And we met a lot of you at SHOT Show, believe it or not, and some gun shops we stopped in and different things. So we appreciate you all, and always say hi if you see our ugly faces. And I'll check in with you next week again. Life is good.